Hi, good morning, everyone. How are you? It is a cloudy, and I'm going to say, what is this? I don't know what that was. That was an insect. Summer is here in Japan, and that means tiny and large insects are going to be at large. That was a tiny insect. I just felt it on my hand, but it was tiny. Ugh, gosh. Spiders will be out. I already see some tiny spiders in my apartment. Like sometimes you just catch a little thing moving. It almost looks like a speck of dirt. Well, not that small, but it looks like a little piece of little dirt. And you're like, what was that? Just moved? And when you check, it is a small spider. A small spider that will turn into a big spider. And while in general spiders don't freak me out, I'm very fascinated. I'm not fat. No, let's not say fascinated. I I'm not against spiders. If they're outside, I'm fine with that. If they have their webs and they're colorful, as long as I don't walk into the web and get spiders all over me, especially the baby spiders, I'm okay. I kind of just like, okay, you're there. I see you. Live free. Um, but in my apartment, I'm not keen on that. Now, I'm not terrified of the jumping spiders. I think they are cute. I don't think spiders are coming into my apartment to attack me. The problem is, like, you have the huntsman spiders in Japan. Have you seen the huntsman spiders? You need to Google that if you're not aware of them. So they have these spiders. They can be small, medium size, and scary big, pretty big. So I've had a few come into my apartments, various apartments, and I want them out. They're really fast. They're really fast. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I will kill them if they're in my apartment. I think I'm trying to remember if I've ever caught one in a container and threw him off the balcony, or just, and I don't think I have. But the jumping spiders I have, they are, they can jump, yes, but I'm not terrified of them because we have them in Jamaica. The huntsman spiders, I don't think we have in Jamaica. We probably do, but I'm not aware of it. Especially, I've never seen them where I've lived. But because I know the jumping spiders are not like, I don't fear them. I'm used to them. They don't terrify me. But the huntsman spiders, my first time seeing them was in Japan, and I actually saw one dead on the road, and I thought it was a little crab because it was, it was run over. So I thought, oh, it's a crab. And then my friend said, no, that's a spider. I'm like, what? Spiders get that big? And it's not a tarantula. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. I took a picture of it, sent it to friends and family in Jamaica. I'm like, that's a spider. I'm like, what do you think that is? And they said, a crab. I'm like, no, that's a spider. So yeah, they're scary. One spider was in my car a few weeks ago. I actually saw it and I was like, what are you doing in my car? But it was a jumping spider. So I wasn't like terrified, but I certainly didn't want to be driving and it's walking and it jumps towards me because I'm going to react. I would have reacted. So I was like, but it disappeared and I was like, dude, you gotta get out. And a few days later, I saw him. Actually, I saw him 3 times in my car. The third time, it was before I drove off, and I said, "No, you got to get out." So what did I do? I think I got him on. I got him on something, and I just carried him off to the corner somewhere, and I just kind of flicked the thing, and he jumped off, and I was like, "Okay, good. You stay out there, live free." Be strong. And I went back in my car and drove off because the idea of a spider being in close contact with me and I'm not able to do anything, it could jump and I don't want to do something stupid in reacting, and then I always see myself reacting to some spider or thing in my or some insect in my car, and I react, and the last thing I remember is going off a cliff somewhere or slam into something, or about to slam into something, and they wake up in paradise. Like, oh, so I died when that spider or insect came at me. So yeah, what did I want to talk about? I was babbling, sorry. So it's a cloudy day. It may rain today. It rained a little bit over the weekend. I'm still not 100%. I did not go back to the doctor. I'm a little better. I'm nasal, as you can hear, which is probably good because I hate my natural voice. My natural voice is a little high. Yeah, so haven't been back, so I do feel a little nasal. I do suffer from sinusitis, to be honest, and the fact that I have to deal with chalk every day, I'm sure that doesn't help at all. The chalk may not be dusty, but it's still residual, and it gets on your hands, and yeah, so it's not good. I never thought I would be teaching. My mother is a teacher, and I've always said I would never go into teaching. And when people in my community would mistake me for a teacher, I'm like, I'm not a teacher. I'd be so offended. Not that I'm against teachers. I just never wanted to become a teacher because I just want to be doing something where the interaction with people was very low. Anyway, I don't know why I resented being a teacher, and here I am teaching. Yes. So anyway, I've had some questions about living and working in Japan. Now, as someone from an English-speaking country, yes, Jamaica is an English-speaking country. I know sometimes what you see on social media, it shows us speaking Patois or Jamaican Creole, which is a dialect, but it's a language. But it's a dialect, a combination of English, Spanish. People can correct me or add to this. English, Spanish, Portuguese, and there are some words that we've taken from Twi. So they're words from, or phrases or whatever, from parts of Africa, and this is connected to the Africans, the stolen Africans, kidnapped Africans who were taken to the Americas as slaves. So those languages mixed together with the English, the Spanish, Portuguese I've heard. Of course, there were Irish people who were brought or taken to, I know for Jamaica, there were, because they were also somewhat stolen. They were also kidnapped and taken to, or sent to Jamaica and other parts. So there's an Irish connection. There are parts of Jamaica and I would say Ireland where the tone and all of that, they're similar. Fascinating. Anyway, so Patois, it's one of our dialects. It's like in Japan, they have Japanese is the official language. Everybody speaks it. But then certain parts of Japan have dialects. They call them Ben. So for example, Kagoshima Ben, Osaka Ben, which is a dialect. And people in that area speak it. So Jamaica just happens to have a dialect. So you'd say Jamaica Ben, but it's actually called Patois or Creole, Jamaican Creole, Jamaican Patois. I love it because it's so specific to Jamaica. It's very cultural. It is, I would say, our heart language because most of us, that's the first language we learn at home. English is the official language because Jamaica is a part of the British Commonwealth. We were under British control for many years. Do not ask me the history. I do not remember. I would have to look it up. And we were under Spanish control. And then the British and the Spanish fought over Jamaica. The British won, and so that's why we are an English-speaking island in the area where there are only Spanish-speaking countries or islands. So we would have been speaking Spanish had not the British beaten the Spanish. So anyway, so that's why some people they'll say, "Do you guys speak English? I thought you guys spoke Spanish." Like, no, we don't. we speak English, British English. So our writing, our spelling is based on the British system. Our way of business, our school system is based on the British. But I did notice that some people are using American spelling and even pronunciation. Like they're saying schedule instead of schedule, or schedule instead of instead of schedule. uh, and here in Japan, they follow the American everything. So I have to write. I don't have to, but I do write in the American way. But I do like to put and say, hey, listen, color is spelled this way in the USA and this way in British. In Jamaica, this is how we spell it. It's not wrong, or they're not wrong, just different ways. Right. So coming to Japan. If you are interested in coming to Japan for a while, not just visiting, I've never visited Japan on a visa, a tourist visa. I came straight as someone to work, long term. The options are, especially if you're from an English-speaking country, the options are the JET program. Number one, that would be at the top, unless you have some skill and you work for a company that has maybe some sort of, and what do you call it, business here in Japan, and they might transfer you. That's different. But if you are thinking independently of coming to Japan, then, and to stay long term, you're going to need a job, because that's the only way you can stay beyond the 90 days. JET program, the Japan English teaching something, I forgot. JET, look that up. JET program. That one is very organized. It is connected to Monbushu. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, which is the Japan Education Ministry. And they work in connection with the embassy in the country you're in, and the the government of your country. You need to have at least a bachelor's degree. I don't know if there have been changes. I'm just talking now based on my experience, and I think it has remained the same. Bachelor's degree minimum. You have to apply, and there's a process of elimination that they follow, and they'll call you in if you're a good candidate. They'll call you when you do an interview. And I know in Jamaica you might take a few classes, or you might be introduced to taking a few classes. They do prep you on what you need to know, and former JETs will probably give you the additional information of, hey, listen, also, you need to do this, and this is how it is, and so forth. If you are successful, then it's fairly quick. You get the visa thing sorted out. You need to, I think they pay for your transportation to and back. So they pay your return flight. I've never had to use the return flight. So I'm not quite sure how that one goes, but it's really nice. If you can get on the JET program, believe me, that's good. The pay is much better than, say, working for a dispatch company, which is what I do, because you are getting paid as an employee of the Ministry of Education in Japan. So you get the full amount. You get the full amount of annual leave and sick leave, unless things have changed, which is better than the dispatch companies like where I work. And you go in and you teach. Now, maybe the downside is that, just like the Japanese teachers, you're not really off for the whole of August. You are still working. But you do have these vacation or annual leave that you can take, which is nice. But please note that during the summer months, July, August, you may have certain responsibilities, but the pay is really good, and you are more secure than if you work for a dispatch company. Right. So JET. The other option is applying through with a dispatch company. There are several. You can do your research, but I'll tell you about the ones that come to mind immediately. There is Altia, Interac, Borderlink, and a few others. These are dispatch companies. In other words, they hire you. They negotiate with the Board of Education in different areas that they may be based in, and The Board of Education, if they like what is presented, they'll pay the company pays you. Of course, the company is making a profit, so they get a cut of whatever is sent to them, and there's an agreed amount that they pay. Excuse me. Yes, there is an agreed amount that they will pay the ALTs, which is what you will be assistant language teacher. They will set your vacation time, and it's a lot less than I think that is nationally required or set by the government of Japan. So I think the government of Japan says 20 days vacation leaves, and also maybe including sick leave. You can do some research on that. If I do some research, I remember to do some research, I will put it in the description. Yeah, and so some companies will give you 5 days, and when I say 5 days, I don't mean 5 days annual leave plus 5 days sick leave, making it 10. No, I'm talking 5 days for the year, which could includes sick leave and annual leave. So let's say you are sick for 3 days. You take the 3 days. You only have 2 days left in the entire year to take as annual leave, or if you get sick again. If you go over that, then that becomes unpaid leave. Let that sink in, okay? I don't like it. I absolutely do not like it, because I think the law says differently. But, law is fluid here. And when I say law is fluid here, I don't mean that you can do illegal stuff. But, these companies have a workaround. I don't know what it is, but they do. So there are limitations when you work with a dispatch company. Upside, some dispatch companies are okay if you're not expecting them to listen. They are not your family. They don't care about you. Even on the jet program, they don't care about you, but they do follow protocol to make sure that you are okay, because they're responsible for you, and they want to make sure that you are doing well. I'm going to stop here and continue. This is now 17 minutes, very long. So I'm going to stop, and part 2 will follow.